Well, hello everybody, and welcome to our fourth segment of BroncBuster Live. And we're very happy tonight to introduce our special guest, Martha, right there. Say hi, Martha.
Hey.
So I'll do a quick introduction of Martha, and then we're gonna have an opportunity to talk about some of the things she does. So um, if you don't know who Martha is, you should check out the show on the History Channel called Mountain Men. Some pretty incredible stuff, and we had a chance to talk before the show here and get a little bit of an idea of some of the stuff. So we're going to try and share some of that with you guys. Um, all right, so Martha's intro is: in the mountains of South Central Alaska lives Martha Tansy, a single mother and designated hunter of the native Athabaskan people who inhabit the region. Martha and her daughter Ellie are responsible for harvesting wild game that their native community depends on to survive. A life spent exploring the wilderness and 5 years in the U.S. Army prepared Martha with the outdoor survival and sharpshooting abilities required for the job. Elite off-road driving and mechanic skills allow Martha to venture deep into the backcountry in pursuit of moose, caribou, and other big game. The harsh environment, weather, and predators put her skills and grit to the test every day, but with so much at stake, Martha refuses to back down no matter what the bush throws her way. So, one of the interesting things is a lot of times we see these reality TV shows, and a lot of it's not really reality, but you literally live this lifestyle every day of your life, right?
Yeah, I remember. So I don't have TV. I don't know anything about reality shows. I don't really know much about the internet. So when I got approached to be on the TV, I didn't quite understand what they were talking about, and so I started asking people, about TV and about reality shows, and they was like, "Oh, it's so fake. It's all fake. You'll find out. It's all fake." I'm like, "How are they gonna fake a moose? Like, are they gonna like put a stuffed moose out there? I shoot it or something?" I said, "I don't understand how you can fake hunting on TV, you know." And so I'm talking to producer and stuff, and I'm like, "I don't understand how." And they're like, "No, we can't fake anything you're doing. We have a pretty low budget. We're not making a movie here, and no, you just do your thing, and we send a couple guys and like try to keep them alive." I'm like, "Okay, so we can totally do this." Um, so yeah, it's pretty real. What we're doing is potentially scary at times, and I've had to really pray about what we were gonna do many times when we've been out in the woods, and adding an extra couple guys is slightly challenging too to the whole dynamic, because usually I'm just having to keep us safe, and now I got to keep like a crew safe. So there's it's actually way more challenging than I thought that
So
was
you
going
got
to
to
be.
babysit a little bit too with the crew then, filming
Um,
a
I
little
like
bit.
I'd like to take care of them. Yes, I like to
Yes.
take care of anybody that's going out with us. I take responsibility quite frequently about safety is really important. So yeah, we all
So
make it in and we all make it out. So
so this time of year it's pretty warm in Alaska, right?
you are so funny. It's horrible.
So I'm going to show. I mean, most of us don't realize. Now, I have something to admit. I was telling you, I spent 6 years, well, actually almost 7 years in North Dakota. North Dakota can be pretty brutal too, but I don't think quite as bad as what you deal with. But I want to show these guys a little clip that you sent us on some of the conditions you deal with right now. So I guess, is that pretty typical for this time of year?
That was a really bad storm. That was
Yeah.
that was really bad. That was like, I was like, "Oh yeah, I know about off-road driving. Yeah, I know about storms. I'm good. I'm gonna go out to. I needed some parts, so I was gonna go to the parts store in town. And so I was like, I'm gonna go to the parts store. I get there, almost killed like people. They almost killed me, and you can't see nothing, and the roads are really icy, and it's really bad. I was like, okay, got my parts and went home. Like it was pretty bad. But even for me, I was like, nah, this is probably not the risks I need to be taking right now to be going. But no, the winds were really bad to the point where trees were going down and power was going out, and we can't get anywhere. everything's shutting down. People can't get to work. The snow drifts were like 5 feet high on some of the roads. So you couldn't get out. I couldn't even get out of my driveway without shoveling for a couple hours. And that's on top of like, it was clean the day before. So the wind just blew everything right back in to the driveways and the roads. And yeah, it was pretty bad. We had one last year that was also really bad. And we had winds that were a little bit stronger. Like I think 83 was the high miles per hour wind that we had this storm, but the other storm we had was higher winds and colder temperatures. We think we had like at my house it was like -10, but like last year's winds were more and they were longer and it was colder and more houses had lost power, more houses their pipes bursted, and right now I know of like the hospital, the schools got both of those have their pipes busted, and multiple houses. There's a lot of fires that happen too during the storms, so it's just really bad around. It's just driving around, it's just like destruction everywhere, and it's really sad. But yay, it's Alaska. Like I love
But
it
you love
here.
it, right? I mean, we were talking about how much you love living where you live in Alaska, and you know, one of the things that I found interesting in meeting you at SEMA and talking to you is, and I told you this, and I honestly believe this. I think your build was the coolest one there. Ellie's, I guess it's Ellie's build, right? And
Yeah.
how old is Ellie?
So Ellie is 14.
Okay.
And I was really nervous about that build because I've been to SEMA many times, and usually it's all shiny and flashy, right?
Yep.
And Trail Effects was so sweet and so kind, and they said, "Hey, you know, would you be able to bring the truck down if we shipped it down there? Would you be able to do that?" And I was like, "Are you serious? It's not shiny. Like it's real. It's really beat up. Like it's a real rig. Like serious." So I was a little nervous about how that was going to go. Are people going to criticize? Are they going to make fun of us? You know, or they think it's cool? And we had such an overwhelming response of people excited to see something real and equipment that's actually being really used.
Really used. Yep.
And we can tell you exactly how we used it, when we used it, and we can tell you, yeah, a lot of details about
Well,
it too.
that rig was in kind of the little promotional video that I put out today. I should have had a clip here to pull up to show you guys. But what year truck is that? It's a Ford F-350, right, or 250?
It's a 250. It's a 2008, and it's a really kind of beat up farm truck. That's how we were able to get it so cheap, and we just kind of threw it together. It was very last minute. And I've always, you know, thought about, hey, you know, Ellie's gonna need a truck one day, and then all of a sudden it just came together, and the producer's like, okay, we're gonna, you know, okay, build this truck, and they just thought it meant like putting shocks on it. They're like, okay, yeah, build it. Okay, we'll film it. And I'm like, okay, this is a really big deal. And so I called companies, and Trail Effects was there, Warren, Factor 55, FabTech. I mean, Fab Force, like they all these companies were like, okay, just give us the address. Where do we ship this to? And I'm like, it needs to come like tomorrow. During the pandemic, you know, and during
And
all
getting it
the
all the way to
issues with
Alaska. Yeah.
shipping all the way to Alaska, and it was hard, and a lot of parts were not on the shelves, and I was like, just send me whatever you have and I will make it work. And so that's that truck, and it was not like a lot of time to get the planet and all this cool stuff. It was like what I could find, and we threw it together. So
That's cool.
but
And you
she's
do all the builds yourself, right? I mean, all your off-road vehicles, the mechanicing, the welding. I mean, tell us a little bit about what that looks like for you.
So I do have a background. I have a degree in automotive and then also a degree in diesel, and I do weld. I didn't go to school for welding. It was like out of necessity. I needed stuff to be welded, and I was tired of waiting on someone to weld it. So a buddy of mine was like, you know, hey, you know, you can just weld it. I said, oh, really? Yeah, it was a long time ago. And so you just take it and make some circles. And I was like, that's it? That's all you guys are doing? You're just taking it, making circles? I'm like, oh my gosh. He's like, yeah, it's like icing a cake. So I did some circles. He's like, boom, you're a welder. Now go do your stuff. I don't have time. I'm like, okay. So then I just started welding and welding and welding. I just loved it. And I thought about even becoming a welder, but I don't love it 40 hours a week kind of love. So
Right.
I love it like I need to build something and get into the woods, or I need to build something to go race, and then I need to fix it out in the woods and on the race court to be able to make it home. So that's my kind of love with welding is I love it for necessity. I love it to build.
So talking about necessity, I mean, it's a real deal that you could get stuck anytime you and Ellie go out and go hunting, you could get stuck somewhere, and so you have to plan ahead. So I guess tell us a little bit of what you do to plan ahead when you're going out, because sometimes you spend what, days at a time out there doing your hunting, correct?
Yeah, we do. We spend months at a time out in the woods. And like it all boils down like this, all this stuff that I do, it all comes like I love being in the woods. That's my passion is I just love being in the woods. And I love having my daughter there and she loves the woods too. Her whole life is been spent like out in the woods, like one adventure after another. And like in order to get out there real far, um, I kind of, trucks are handy. Like I started the whole walking and hiking thing and stuff, and that's fun. But you can only carry so much, and you like makes it really hard to get real far. So then I got into like dirt bikes and four wheelers and stuff, and then I got into trucks, and I really like trucks because they got cages. You can, get in cabs and four wheels and stuff, and you can haul a bunch of stuff, and so that's nice and be protected. So I started building trucks and going out in the woods, and I just loved it. As a child, just constantly breaking stuff, fixing it so I can go back out every single weekend. And of course, learning about being prepared the hard way by not being prepared. I had a lot of miserable experiences, a lot
Yeah.
of very challenging experiences being stuck out in the woods and looking around me going, okay, you guys know what you're doing, right? And we all didn't know what we're doing. So I had to figure out, navigation and different ways to communicate. And of course, tools and parts and food and water and those, and then hunting, of course, being able to protect yourself and shoot and, feed yourself is super important also when
Yep.
you're out in the woods. And so it kind of came from just that desire of being out there. It's like, well, okay, I like being in the woods. I gotta learn all these things to kind of go with that. And yeah, and then like people ask me, well, what are you gonna do like with your life? And I was like, well, I guess I'll join the military. Like that sounds fun, like go around and help people and protect people, which is really important to me. And being able to fix trucks and is amazing. And then being able to be a wrecker operator. So when things are like super bad and really stuck and really broke way out in the woods, I can go out there and try to my best to do what I can to get him back home and get him back out and yeah, in crazy situations. So joined the military and I thought that was like the best job ever. Um, and little did I know there was so much more in store in life. And so then racing, oh my gosh. So
Yeah,
all
tell us
this
about your
off-road
racing. I'm
stuff.
anxious to hear about that.
Yeah. So doing all that off-roading stuff um, really lays a good foundation for building skill sets that work well for racing. So um, the first shop that kind of helped me with working on cars, because I didn't really know much as a child, um, they took me in and they helped me with my truck when I would break it, and they would help me get it going. And they were super sweet. But then in exchange, I had to help them build race cars. And I was like, well, that's cool. All right. So all my free time was spent either working on my truck or working on their race cars. And they were at a NASCAR circle track, asphalt track. So it was just a lot of fun building those cars. And then they were short sometimes drivers and they would just throw me in cars and it was just so much fun. They're like, oh, Martha will do it, she'll do it anything. So I got thrown in all sorts of late models and all sorts of really cool race cars, and then like dirt cars I got thrown in those and ice racing cars and all sorts of fun stuff, which I appreciate those opportunities at but I really 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 love off-roading. And so when the opportunity came up to do like arena trucks, which is like a mini monster truck. That was probably my favorite racing opportunity when I was a child. And so I built a Bronco, which you can
Right on. What year? What year Bronco was it?
83. So yeah, it was just I literally again another throw together project, and I was like, okay, I got this sponsor and I got this donation. Okay, we're throwing this stuff together, and then I went out and I had a blast with it. But then yeah, I just started getting picked up by other teams, other places. I started doing races in Baja, races down in the States. Started going over to Europe. So yeah, I just started exploding. I was getting calls all the time about, hey, can you come do this race? Can you come? Oh, I heard you help this team. Can you come help this team over here? And da da da.
Awesome.
And it just was, I mean, crazy. I just loved it. But then yeah, COVID hit. So my life took a little bit of a different direction. But at that same time as when I got the call saying we want you to be on Mountain Men. And I said, oh, that's awesome, because can't race, we can't travel, all the stuff we've been doing for years, we can't do that anymore. So we'll stay at home and we'll do some off-roading and some hunting and stuff and have you guys come along. And so it just worked out really good to be able to kind of make that switch. And sometimes I don't have control over a lot of things like that, like but God just kind of leads us in different directions. And that's how it kind of happened with becoming a mom. Like, I was like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with my life. And all of a sudden I became pregnant. I'm like, okay, I know what I'm going to do it now. And then I had my daughter, Ellie, and what I thought was the best job in the world really wasn't. Even though I loved being in the military and it was a great experience and I'm glad I did it. Like being a mom.
Best calling in life, right?
It is, yeah. And then just having our ministry too. It wasn't something that I sought after. It just started happening and evolving, and then here we are. And now we have this ministry that helps people by getting food in the way of organic, nice moose and caribou that we give away to people who need it. And then also doing rescues and recoveries and helping people in the woods, whether it's through welding or when they're stuck in the mud or needing to get across a river. We do a lot of that. So we're just needing parts and pieces and getting them out. So whatever, challenges people are having, we try to do our best to help them. So yeah, those are probably my two favorite jobs in the whole world, is helping people and having Ellie. So
that's awesome. So you talk about your ministry and you say we. How many is in your ministry then?
So of course my daughter, and she's so funny. She's like, Mom, one day I might want to go get a job. I'm like, we kind of have a job, we just don't make money. So her and I work really, really hard. But yes, we don't make very much money at it. But we have volunteers. And it was so cool. I want to take just a second to talk about a gentleman that I met this last hunting season, just a couple months ago. We were out in the woods and we were sitting in camp, and it was me, Ellie, and then another real good friend of mine who was a volunteer in the ministry also. And not really seeing much game. And we had two guys come in to camp, and we're like, people, we love people. It's so funny when you haven't really seen anybody for a long time. And we're like, oh, everybody be in best behavior. What's going on? And they're like, hey, we don't even bother you, but we are totally stuck in a swamp a few miles away.
Oh, wow.
And I knew which swamp they were talking about. I said, oh, yay. Okay, everybody, let's get our trucks ready. And so we got Ellie's truck ready. So it was the first big recovery that she got to do in her truck. And it was super exciting. So we went out and he was buried. First he said, oh, it's in my six-wheeler, which I thought he was talking about a four-wheeler, six-wheeler. But no, he's talking about great big side-by-side six-wheeler on portals with great big truck tires.
Wow.
And I'm like, dude, you are buried, really, really buried. And there's no way this big truck, because Ellie's truck is 10,300 pounds, something like that. I'm like, we are going to go out in that swamp to get you. And he's way out there in the swamp, a good probably 400 yards out there. So we had to run all of our straps out to him and run our winch line out. And but we were able to winch him out, and we used our traction boards and shovels and shoveled him out and got him out. And they were like, okay, that was awesome. All right, see you later, kind of thing. And then we start driving away, and he's like, clonk, 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 clonk. And he's like, I only got one wheel drive. And I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
That's how it goes. You get in a
Oh yeah.
swamp and then you romp on it, and then things break and you don't really know how bad they are until you get it out. And so we spent the whole night with him and his family, and had a good old time. Got to set up all of our lights, and I got to feed him food, and yeah, it was a
So in
great.
all your ministry, you make a lot of friends out there, right?
We
Yeah.
do actually. We love meeting people, and we love sharing God's love with as many people as we possibly can. And then we try to keep his spirits really high. And so yeah, so we spent the night with them. Went into the middle of the night, got them going, sent them on their way, right? And we went back to camp. Anyway, so we see this guy, and I tell him about, oh, go make sure you go to Trail Toys, and he's got some really all the stuff you see here, all these straps, everything. Make sure you go there and get all the same stuff, because they worked really well getting them out. So like a week goes by, he comes back, and he's like, I got all that stuff, and I was wondering if I could hang out some more and do some more cool stuff with you guys. And he did. He came back over and over and over throughout the whole hunting season. He helped with like 4 different other recoveries. Like he got like the helping like itch or something. He just loved
Oh
it.
wow. So
Yeah.
now you got all these extra ministers going out and helping you.
Oh, it was so cool. Oh my gosh. And so yeah, he came, and he was like my number one guy, and he would go do this and we go do that, and he was just super patient, because you gotta have a lot of patience to go do this stuff. So I had about 3 people that were really like my main go-to volunteers at the beginning of the hunting season, and then I added him. Yep, and he was my 4th one.
Wow.
But really, doing a nonprofit, how volunteers work. Like
Yep.
people come and go, and they can give you their time when they have it, and then all of a sudden someone will pop up and say, hey, I can help you. Do you need some help? And I'm like, yes. So
Well, and
then
actually, I want to talk about the nonprofit, but I have one last thing that I want to ask you. What is your most exciting off-road achievement?
Man, so it used to be a lot of racing stuff, right? Baja 1000, 500s. Those were pretty amazing experiences to have. I got to win a rock crawl one time, and that was really cool. But if it's an off-road, like just generally speaking, it would just have to be like what we're doing right now, the ministry. Every single time when we go into the woods, we have that heart to just serve. And we're given vessels to go around to talk to people and to love on people. And the vessel, of course, is the trucks and the cool stuff, and the hunting and all that. That's the vessel to get us there, and all kind of bring us together. Common ground is the off-roading the trucks. But when it comes down to it, it's people,
Absolutely.
and being able to connect with people and fellowship with people, and be able to help people when they're struggling. And I need help sometimes. I've had to be recovered too, and so I've been on the other end of that, where I just felt very frustrated at the situation I was in. And then someone came and said, hey, do you need a hand? Yes, I do. And they come out, and I just have that feeling of like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And I love being able to do that for people, but then also remind them, like, this is from God. This is a gift from God. I am here trying to help him. But we're doing it for him. We want to do it for him. Thank you for thanking me, but make sure why we're doing it and who we're doing it for. And so that, I think, is the biggest thing that I can think of. I mean,
Oh,
just
cool.
having
Well,
that
and
experience, and thanking God for giving me this love for the outdoors and these skills to be able to survive. And I wouldn't be able to do what I do without him. Like some years, I mean, we get 13 animals. That's an amazing thing, like just to think about. And so, moose are huge.
yeah.
And we're talking multiple moose, and be able to get out and find them, find legal ones, and then get them out of there and then get them processed, get them to the people. I mean, it's just a great big operation. I'm just like, man, thank you, God, for allowing me these opportunities and then these skills and the patience to be able to figure out how we're going to handle these situations. And then also, you know, like we talked about earlier, before we got on live, we talked about like the big picture too with the hunting. Some people see hunting maybe differently than how we do here in Alaska, but for us here, it's survival. We really do need the meat. There's people that really do need it, and they're out in villages, and life is completely different. They don't just go to Walmart.
Right.
And
You guys utilize everything too. I mean, one of the things that I was impressed with when I met you and Ellie at SEMA were your boots, and literally you hand made those. I mean, you said it took you how long? A year to make them?
That's a year for the sewing part, but if you add in like the hunting and then the tanning part and then then patterns and stitches and all the hand sewing.
For sure.
Yeah, it's
and one of the things that, you know, in talking with you that really impressed me, and that one of the reasons why I asked you to help us with our event is I saw your passion for helping people, and you know, the off-roading community, I think in general is just a good group of people that are there to help each other. And that's what inspired us to do Wheeling for a Cause. You know, when we invited you to come down and you said, yeah, you know, I'll come and I'll help cook, I'll help, you know, serve people. And that just impressed me. I mean, everybody coming together, we've had just a huge outreach of people. And I wanted to spend just a couple of minutes talking about Wheeling for a Cause. I guess you're excited, hopefully, to get out of the cold for a little bit, right? And come down.
Oh, I'm so excited. Like, I love wheeling. Like, I love wheeling so much. And then to be able to do it with you guys, like, it's going to be a really fun experience. And then to do it for a cause too. I mean, I love wheeling, but to be able to go and help somebody in the end is even more fun, and being able to get to talk to companies and get them involved. And so many people want to help support this. And I want to see all my friends from all around the state. So I'm hoping all my friends will see this and they'll all come to Texas and we can all go do some off-roading there.
Texas is the best, especially this time of year. Now, we had a few days cold, but I think tomorrow we're supposed to get close to 80. So if you guys are in other parts of the country and suffering from cold, you guys need to come out to Texas next year. And I wanted to show just a little clip. I think I showed it before, but for some of you guys that hadn't seen it, just a little kind of a preview of our event and a little introduction to TJ, because TJ is an awesome guy and I can't wait to be able to help him. So here we go.
Up until 3 weeks ago, I was still in bed. You know, they had me down. They split me open, reorganized stuff, causing issues. That thing's a beast. Oh.
Tyler and Doug here with BroncBuster. We are excited to announce our Wheeling for a Cause, which kind of began and started back in Idaho last year. We're headed out right now to go meet with TJ, who's going to be the recipient of this build that we're doing, and so we're going to tell you a few of the details. All right, BroncBusters, we are out here at Katemsi Rocks, the Moab of Texas, and we are excited to introduce our event here that kind of all began a year ago with Bronco breaking his steering here at King of the Hill. We're going to do our event here in Katemsi, January 13th, 14th, and 15th. Hope you guys can come along. This will give you a little taste of it, but stay tuned for the rest of this video because you're not going to want to miss it. We're going to also introduce the recipient, and he's an awesome guy. For those that came along last July for our event in Idaho, we had a good time building a little mini Bronco for a 3-year-old girl with spina bifida by the name of Holland. This was a fun build, and we got a lot of participation from you guys. So we're here to ask you again to participate and to help donate for this cause, because I think you'll find this is a good cause. Introduce you to TJ, and TJ, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my full name is Guillermo Tejada. I served in the Marine Corps a little bit over 15 years. Retired in 2014 as a gunnery sergeant. I turned 19 in boot camp, so pretty much right after high school. In 2010, I was deployed in Sangin, Afghanistan. I was on a foot patrol. I was serving as a platoon sergeant with 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines, India Company. I was struck by an IED. Lost my legs on impact, pretty much. A lot of people say that I was spared for a reason, and I still don't know what that reason is. We're still trying to find out.
As you can see, TJ is an awesome guy. We're excited to be able to be part of this for him and to bring this to you guys. Like our event back in Idaho last year, we had a good community, good friends, good food. We were able to get together and really have a good time. It's more than just having a good time, though. We want you guys to come and participate and be part of making this something that can make a difference in someone's life that has done a lot for us in our country.
Come out, support our event. We would love your support for Wheeling for a Cause. The link is in the description of the video. It's wheelingforacause.org. There's places on there that you can donate, you can sign up, register. We have housing options, and it gives you details about our event. So come join us. So, yeah, I mean, we're excited to have you. We're excited with all the people that have generously, come out to help support this event. We're down to the last little bit here. We've got, basically 3 weeks before we hold this event. And we're getting closer and closer to the finish line. Martha has been a great help to reach out to guys from Warren, from Trail FX, I can't remember all the ones that she's helped. We've got a lot of people helping to do that. And we need your guys' help. We need your support. We're not quite there to raise all the funds that we need to, but we're getting closer. So if you have the ability, or if you know somebody that has the ability, I encourage you to come on out and help support it. You can, if you want to just buy raffle tickets, we're going to allow people that even can't attend to buy a raffle ticket, and we can ship stuff out. I anticipate having quite a large variety, probably $15,000 to $20,000 worth of donated stuff that you guys could win. So the more tickets you buy, of course, and help support, the more chances you have of winning something. But if you haven't done so already, I'm going to, let's see. Sorry, I was going to share my screen here so I can just show you how you can get on and register. If you haven't done so yet, it's www.wheelingforacause.org, and registration page, you've got the home, under the home page, scroll down, register here. You can donate to the cause. You can buy raffle tickets. If you're a vendor and want to come, please reach out to us as soon as possible so that we can get your information. And we're finalizing all the details, getting our signage made and out. So we're kind of down to the wire, and so anything you guys can do to help would be great. But yeah, I'd like to thank Martha. And Martha, it's awesome that you're volunteering your time to come help us with this. Appreciate you coming on to show us a little bit about what you do in Alaska and helping us to better understand your ministry. And we look forward to having you here with us.
Thank you so much for this time. I appreciate it. I've had fun. And I look forward to seeing you guys in Texas.
All right, guys. So the next part here is, so I'll go ahead and let Martha go. Thanks again, Martha. I'm going to bring John in. Hey, John, you met John here a few weeks back. But here, before we go into the next segment, so our next segment, we're going to talk about some of the new and upcoming products we have. We're going to talk about some of the products that we now have on our site and some of the promotions that we're offering through from now through the first of the year. But also, before we do that, I remember, guys, I promised last time that we would do a drawing for any of you guys that commented and participated, because that's the only way we really know that you're here is if you comment. So I encourage you right now, if you're here, let us know you're here, because we're going to do a drawing next week and you'll get a chance to be a winner on that. So if you're here and you haven't commented already, tell us you're here, just say hi or something, and so we can enter you in there. But I'm going to go ahead and we are going to do the drawing real quick to see who was the winner from last week. And so Justin set this up, and that's a pretty cool way. I get to spin this wheel and see who won. Oh, geez. All right, Jamie, are you on here tonight with us, Jamie? If you are, tell us hi. I know there's a little delay in the feed, but anyway, so I'll reach out to Jamie Castleberry and let him know what he won. And again, he won $500 towards some parts that we offer, and so we'll reach out to him. Don't forget, you guys, if you go on here, comment so that you guys can participate. But with that, we're going to go ahead and move on into some of the stuff that we're doing. John, go ahead and introduce yourself again for those that maybe don't know you, and who you are and what we're doing together here.
So I'm the CEO, founder, and one of the partners in two companies, Texas Fabrication Company and Velox Offroad. Velox Offroad makes aftermarket parts for a number of different vehicles. We were kind of some of the pioneers for the gull wings. We make molly panels. We make all kinds of different accessories. And we recently rolled out a lot of Bronco products, which you're now starting to carry on your site. Texas Fabrication Company is a metal fabrication company. So we make all the parts for Velox Offroad and now a number of other companies as well. So if it's, sheet or plate, we can, or tube, we can cut it, bend it, weld it, and powder coat it. So, we work with, like I said, everything from, we're developing a new Bronco hardtop with Armadillo designs. We're doing gull wings for Velox Offroad. We're doing, we're in development right now of some roof racks. We're in development of a number of different products. So we help with the design, 3D scanning, 3D printing, and then we new products we're rolling out in conjunction with you as well. And so we're excited to kind of debut some of those tonight, and many more in development with you. And there's no shortage of ideas. So our engineers CAD everything up, and then once it's designed, our lasers can, it's like a big printer. We can just cut as many as you want. So a little bit of a secret I'm going to unveil here. John and I both, I think, have a little bit of a attention deficit disorder. Right? We sit there with our whiteboard and we're writing these lists, and then all of a sudden we go here and we're writing this list. No, we got a lot of things in development. John has great ideas. I've got ideas we're putting together. I showed a quick little clip about the hardtop. I mean, it's still in its rough stages, but as you can see there, and I'll go ahead and let it sit right there for a minute. Where we're at right now, John, tell us kind of on this design what we're looking at. So what we've designed is a fully aluminum modular hardtop. We decided to launch the first version as kind of a turtleback. But the cool thing about the modular design that we've done is that it you can buy other accessories and take it apart and put it back together in different configurations. We are one of the first ones to include glass in the top. It is that center part in the middle where you see the two open panels is a removable top. The reason we went with the modular design is to make it so that we can flat pack ship it, so that it's not a massive piece that we're trying to ship. But The rear is 2 gull wings, incorporated the Velox Offroad design gull wings, but they've got glass in them so that they're not just a solid gull wing like our normal gull wings. The rear door does open up, unlike the soft tops where you have to kind of pivot it up. And our goal is to be able to support an absolute metric ton of weight on the roof, unlike the traditional fiberglass tops. So, we're looking to try and start in that kind of $5,000 price range for the introductory model. And then the cool thing about our modular design is to have an absolute ton of accessories for it. So everything from bimini tops to removable panels to, you can swap between a turtle back and the square back, and it'll have built-in mounting for, lights and all kinds of accessories for the roof, as well as building in for a roof rack that will allow you to mount a tent and actually sleep 2 heftier people like myself on the roof.
Come on, you're skinny.
Yeah. But we will be doing both 2-door and 4-door.
Yeah.
We're launching the 4-door first, just because the fact that that's what we have with Tyler to be able to make it. So yes, we will do a 2-door as well.
And one of the reasons why we're starting with the 2-door is because the 4-doors pretty much all came with a hardtop. A lot of us 4-doors don't have a hardtop, so we figured we start with that.
Other way around, the 2-door came with the hardtop.
Oh, did I say it the other way? Sorry. The 2-door came with a hardtop, 4-doors didn't, and so we're trying to fill that need first. It's not going to take a lot of development to get it to
once we have the 4-door done, we'll be able to make the 2-door pretty quick.
Yeah.
So we wanted to come up with the Ford factory top. Even the ones that have the hard tops from Ford factory, they don't support a lot of weight. They still are having issues with their, the honeycomb showing through, and so we just decided that it was something that we wanted to do. Aluminum was going to be a little bit heavier than a fiberglass top, but with the weight, you'll also get a lot more rigidity and support for, mounting things on top, like rooftop tents and everything. And we are going to make the rack on the roof of it will have winch points, so that you could actually install one of those like removable winches in your garage, where you could just lift it off the back if you want to go convertible. But I think everybody will find that when you take that center part and the top off, it almost acts like it's not there. But it'll be a lot stronger than any of the fiberglass ones that are out there. And we're trying to be affordable is our goal. So we've designed a modular top that allows us to mass produce it and get it to market quickly and fulfill with our capabilities here at our shop.
So our goal, now this is our goal. Of course, there's things that can happen, but we're hoping to have one on BroncBuster at Wheeling for a Cause that we can roll out and show you guys, at least the prototype version. It won't have the glass panels. It's not going to have every bells and whistle on the first one. But on the base, I guess we call it the base model, right, is what we're going to try and have built by then.
Yeah, we're targeting a January prototype, and then our goal is to be in production probably within another 30 to 60 days after that.
Yeah.
So March timeframe, be able to we'll start doing pre-orders to allow people to get in line for that first run of delivery in probably late January, early February, and then be in production in March.
So we're excited about that. We're working on a few other things as well. In fact, I'm headed over tomorrow again. I'll be over at Texas Fabco for the next couple of days, working out of there. One of the things that we worked on last week, which I put out there a little bit for you guys, I'm going to just show you just a quick little display of our light bracket that we're doing with the Project X lights. So here we'll show that. So this is just showing kind of we're in production there, showing a little bit of the design, not in production, sorry, in the design process. Now this is showing the laser. I kind of sped up the feed here, but literally after we have it all designed, we start cutting out those pieces. That's Daniel, that's John's brother, doing all the bending, and now we're setting it up in welding. So, the hardest part in this process is always getting the design dialed in. And we built this first prototype. We've decided there's a few tweaks and stuff that we're going to do to it. But you can see kind of a little bit of the process of us building one of these and tacking it up and welding it. That's what the finished product looks like. A finished product, not painted or anything, but that's kind of the concept. I just have the lights mounted on there, not really finished yet. But let's see, we got a couple lights and a molly rack would make a lot of people very happy. Yes, I think. Any ideas on that, John?
For the hard, Robert, are you talking about for the hard top, or are you talking about, because we already make molly panels for the rear windows. We make, we actually, one of the other products, which we have that we're launching probably tomorrow, is our ditch light bracket. And then we've got a new under mirror light bracket, and you can actually run both at the same time if you want to run a lot of lights. But we found we made the under mirror light bracket for the Toyotas, and it was very popular. Yes, we will have molly panels for the hard top that we're coming out with. We're going to incorporate all the Velox products as accessories for the hard top. But we do have a number of different light brackets. So the light bracket that you see us making that goes across the front for Project X, and we're actually going to have it available for Raycor as well. So that light bracket will still work with our hardtop, and the ditch light brackets and the under mirror light brackets will work for, regardless of what top you run. But we found that putting just a ditch light bracket where you're mounting kind of above the hood sometimes blinds you with hood flare, hood reflection. And I'm sure you can attest to this, that having a being so high up, you can't get those lights to kind of point where you want them to be. So the under mirror light bracket kind of gives you something that's a little bit lower than the hood, and it allows you to point out so that you can really kind of light up the sidelines and see what's going on when you're trying to crawl at night. I mean, I can tell you from experience, done a lot of night runs, especially in Moab, Easter Jeep Safari, Bronco Safari. I think Walter was with me the one time. Walter's on here. When we were doing a night run on Hell's Revenge, and anybody that's done Hell's Revenge knows that there's some really narrow areas, and I was leading the trail, and I had somebody behind me with really bright lights that were just straight out in front, which blinded me from seeing anything. Whereas some lights underneath the mirror that really shows them where they need to go would be a lot more effective without blinding the person in front of you. I mean, there's times where you just want to light up everything for sure, but there was times like that where it was really inconvenient. So that'll be something nice to be able to offer you guys. The other thing we're working on with you, which we need to catch up on, is our tire relocation bracket. That product, we are working on redesigning the hinge, so you'd actually replace the whole hinge with the bracket, but that'll allow you to rock up to 42s on the rear door with the replacement hinges. So that'll support the weight, and it with the replacement hinges will not put a huge strain on your door. But we had to make it so that you relocate the actual bracket 4.5 inches higher in order to fit 40-inch tires with the stock bumper.
Yep.
So that product, we tried to make something rather than just relocating the stoplight. We're working on a new light bracket that goes inside the tire that has both white and red, and also gives you kind of a license plate mount if you want. And then the hinge replacements in conjunction with Austin will give us, I think, a superior product to anything out there, without you necessarily having to run a bumper that carries the spare tire. So for those that are rocking the big tires, a little bit less expensive option to be able to carry that spare tire if you're rocking really big tires.
Yep. So we're excited to get that out. Again, like you said, we're still working on the development of an upgraded hinge that'll allow for this to really work well. Another thing that we're working on that I'm really excited about, that hopefully by next week we'll be able to show you guys some prototypes of, because a lot of you guys that are on here have asked me about this or carrying the body lift and different options. So, I'm going to touch on body lift and what brought us to this point. When we did the body lift, of course, with any body lift, it's always, how do you make it look good? Because when you have 1.5 inch or a 3-inch gap between your bumper and your tailgate in the rear, or in the front, you're between the grill and the bumper, it looks hideous if you don't do something. And so early on, we started looking at, okay, what can we do to relocate bumpers? And so we sat down on each one of the stock bumpers, and we were able to relocate all of them 3 inches. But we ran into problems with the HD modular bumper and the capable bumper, because they have those tow hooks in the front, and to be able to keep all of those mounting points intact for, pulling a vehicle out or whatever, or even if you have a winch on your bumper, it was, we were only going to be able to get 4 of the bolts. And so we said, well, only on those, the only thing we can do is a 3-inch bumper relocate. Well, there's a lot of you guys that said, well, I want 1.5 inches. So what are some other options? That, and there are, I don't know how many hundreds of aftermarket bumpers for the Bronco, and more all the time coming out. And every single bumper is designed differently. The mounting point, how they mount, how the bracket would sit in it. And so I've had a lot of people say, well, how about making them for aftermarket bumpers? And literally, guys, that could be our full-time job, is buying bumpers from people and figuring out how to relocate them. And it just wasn't feasible. So we come up with, and that's what we want to unveil next week, is a bracket that will mount in there, follow the contour, and have cutouts for lights. So for instance, okay, we're looking at the rear of this Bronco here with the tire relocate. If you can picture some amber lights in there that maybe tie into your running lights, or possibly some rock lights that come on when you're in reverse, or with just a switch that you turn on when you're trying to back up out in the rocks and stuff. So I think we can come up with some cool stuff that's going to look good. In the front, I think you're going to really like it. We're gonna light that whole front up with some cool lights that will be, an affordable option, actually be less work than relocating bumpers, and I think give you guys a really trick option that looks very custom. So anyways, that's something we're also excited about bringing to you. Hopefully in the next day or two, we can start even teasing some prototypes. But
yeah, Josh, our CAD engineer, has made a lot of progress on that. So he's got it pretty far along from a CAD perspective. So we're hoping to start cutting and making prototypes of that, like you said, after the new year.
Yeah.
Also plan to work on, skid plates, stiff drop. We were talking about some grills. No sure, even metal replacement plates for wheel wells, to give you more clearance. So a lot of really cool ideas. The cool thing is there's no shortage of ideas. We'll constantly be adding new products. Our goal is to add, a product every week to 2 weeks at
Yeah,
so.
I think there's a lot of need to be filled. We're working on skid plates. There's a lot of companies offering skid plates, so we're looking at it maybe from a little bit different perspective on a few areas. Some ways to protect the lower control arms. Anyways, there's some stuff we're working on for protection underneath. A lot of what we're trying to do is give you guys lots of options that solve problems and make your Bronco more capable off-road. So one of the things that we try and do is listen, to what you guys are looking for as well. So, if you guys out there have any suggestions and comments, we're talking about maybe, I don't know, what are some other things, John, that we put on our whiteboard? Are you you're not in the boardroom?
I'm not in that conference room, no. The things that were on the list were obviously the light bars, which we've made progress with, the ditch light brackets and undermirror light brackets, the skid plate, the inserts for the body lifts, the differential drop, we talked a little bit about some bumpers, but haven't gotten that far yet. the metal wheel well, the replacements to give you more clearance. We made a center console MOLLE panel for the right side of the center console. We added the dash panel.
Oh, you know what? Let me show the dash panel real quick, because that's something.
And they've got
So it muted. Sorry, John, I'm going to back you up because when I played that video, it muted you. So tell us, those little cutouts and what all can we add on there? What is the purpose of the design, I guess?
The purpose was a lot of times when you go off-roading or you're going to go, for a long adventure, you're going to have potentially an iPad that you're using as, mapping. You're going to have your phone, you've got maybe a GoPro, you've got a CB radio, you've got, all kinds of different accessories that you want to mount to be able to, properly navigate and communicate. And we found that most cars don't have a good mounting solution to be able to mount all that gear. A lot of companies are trying to do short rails in the middle. But we figured that having something that kind of went all the way across the dash was better to give you more mounting locations and solutions. So it's a MOLLE panel solution. We make our little MOLLE clips that go in there, and then you can mount like RAM mounts or pretty much any accessory you want. You can mount to that panel. We designed it to take into consideration the USB port for those that have the dash mount USB port, so that you could actually put a USB hub up there. And then run all of your accessories without having to have cables coming down off your dash. So we tried to take into consideration, functionality with giving you a better place to be able to bolt everything to. That wasn't just a 6 or 12-inch rail. It goes all the way across the front of the dash of the vehicle. It doesn't interfere with any of the airbags. It doesn't, get in the way from that perspective or impair your visibility. So it was just really a solution to allow kind of just better mounting for your accessories and your gear, rather than throwing your phone in the cup holder or drilling into your dash. This actually just bolts right on. It uses the 2 bolts on either side for the handles and the 1 center bolt in the middle of the dash to mount to, and gives you a solid platform to mount off of.
Cool. Yeah, so I don't know if any of you guys have any comments or things that you'd like to add to this conversation. Again, we appreciate John's time for coming on and talking about these products. We're going to keep updating you guys. Plan on every Tuesday joining with us. We'll keep you up to date. We'll listen to what you guys have, and of course we'll try and throw out some new prizes each week to kind of reward you guys for coming on and supporting what we're doing. I'm gonna leave with one last plug for Wheeling for a Cause. Anybody that came on late here, just again, it's coming quick. So if you haven't already, get on and donate. We could use your help. Come on out to the event. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'd love to have you guys there, and we appreciate. You know what? There are a couple. Actually, let me before I close it here real quick, I'm going to ask Justin. Justin, were there some questions that we did not answer that people have asked? I see one here at the bottom. I'm going to show it. It says, what about having skid plates with the hard plastic already hooked on? So I'm guessing with the UHMW skid plates, yes, I think that's a good option. We'll look at that as far as cost, and there are a couple of companies that are making some really good stuff there, and so if we can be competitive in a way of bringing you guys maybe something a little bit different and a good solution there, that's something we'll try and look at. We do not make bead locks for stock rims. That is something we've talked about. That would be a CNC part that would be more of a conversation with Austin, doing the billet. Part of it was, the cost of it, setting it up. It's a pretty big piece of aluminum, and it's one of those things that we always have to balance. There's a lot of options out there. well, not a ton out there. I think Ford has an option. There's one or two options for the stock rims, and I'm not sure that we can do it much cheaper than what those are. So we got to look at it from a standpoint of if we can make it.
Anything's possible. It's just a matter of, can you make it affordable?
That is the problem. It's a lot of these things we're competing with China, and we can if we can make it better and make it here, we know there's a lot of you guys that will support it, but we still have to make it feasible to, there's a lot that goes into the R&D side. And so that's what we definitely want to do. Yeah, Robert, Ford Racing. Robert said, doesn't Ford Racing already have those? And they do. And I can't remember how much they are. They're pretty expensive, but they're also, I'm pretty sure they're out of billet aluminum. And so that's part of that cost there. But yeah, we're excited to be able to continue bringing you guys this stuff. We'll keep you up to date each week. Next week, I think we're going to have Rock Slide Engineering on as a guest, talking about the rock slides and kind of some of their ingenuity. But we're still confirming that, so we might be announcing a different partner on. And again, appreciate you guys. Appreciate your support.
There was one other product we were going to launch too, which is the cell phone booster product.
Oh, yes. You guys will see that at our event. So just briefly tell us about what that is.
So we've been manufacturing now for one of the largest cell phone booster companies in the United States. We make all kinds of kits for them and brackets, and they have a new product they're launching. We're actually going to be launching the overland version for them. You'll be one of our partners in that. But it basically is a new, stronger cell phone booster antenna. It's an omnidirectional antenna that you can mount in your car, and they also make portable kits that are battery powered, so that if you're going overlanding or off-roading and you want to be able to do social media and everything else, it will allow you to connect to your phone and actually get better signal when you're out in the middle of nowhere. So really excited about that product. We're going to be setting you up with your kit for your trailer to be able to broadcast from the event, as well as put one on your rig. And we'll be launching those soon on your website and our websites. It's definitely an exciting product. It's not like the cheap WeBoost ones you get. It's a stronger signal and works well. We've actually installed it on a number of our vehicles and are getting really good response with it. We put it in our offices even, and it significantly improves it. So the cell phone booster is not a cell phone signal. What it does is it actually it just amplifies the existing signal, and it works with all the different carriers that are out there. So it's a one-time install. It's not a monthly payment or anything like that. It's a product you buy once and install on your vehicle, and it increases your cell phone signal to be able to make phone calls or posts or whatever you're going to be doing. And they've got Wi-Fi boosters that you can connect to it to actually create a Wi-Fi signal as well. So some pretty cool stuff coming that we're going to launch in conjunction with BroncBuster here as a new product, and we'll make a bunch of different Bronco-specific brackets on different ways and places you can mount it.
Yeah, I'm excited about that booster. That'll be cool. So Justin reminded me I was going to give you guys kind of a little heads up on some specials that we're going to run. So on the recovery gear, we showed you guys that here a few weeks ago, the Bronco Lasso recovery gear that we've co-produced with Yankum. So we're going to, through the end of the year, so this will be through January 1st, use Yankum 15 for 15% off. Also last week, for those of you guys that joined us, and I got permission from Dana to go ahead and do a 10% off on all of the Dana parts. So all the Dana parts through the end of the year, I'm going to be able to do one final kind of discount on that, on the, if anybody's looking for a new front drive unit, on the drive shafts, any of that stuff, those will start shipping here this next month. And we've got some of the BroncBuster parts, so our BroncBuster lift components, the BroncBuster body lift. Also, we're putting our shock skids into this, and all of our Velox aftermarket accessories that are on our website. So we wanted to premiere these.
You can buy our products cheaper on your website than you can ours.
Yeah, so come check it out. So it's only for a few days. So shoot, I was going to show you guys on our web. Oh, where is it? Anyways, you get the point. You can go on the website. We've got all the Velox stuff on there. Now's your time to be able to get it at a really good price. I mean, they're already a good price. I mean, for what you get, these things are phenomenal quality. So yeah, we're excited to see you guys out here wheeling for a cause and hopefully sporting some of these new parts with you. So let's see. Couldn't miss the stream. Had to wake up nice and early for this. Well, appreciate you coming on, Matt. Appreciate all you guys coming on, and we'll see you guys next week. And John, thank you again for your time. And
I look forward to seeing you tomorrow and getting these products out there. So,
all right, guys. Well, you guys have a good evening, and we'll see you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.